Grading every SEC team's offseason. Today we got Georgia. Georgia was second to last in the SEC in returning production. There's a lot of turnover in this team. They didn't do much in the portal, only having the 13th best portal class. They made up for that by having the second best recruiting class in the nation. First, let's take a look at this offense. Last year, Georgia really struggled to run the ball, which is surprising considering all their history, as they had the second least rushing yards per game last year. Last year, Nate Frazier, a true freshman, led the way, and he's coming back for year 2 and expect to take a big leap. Also got Josh McCray from Illinois, but this running back room should be pretty deep. On the O-line, they're only retaining one starter, Ernest Green, and they got Walt Claire Flynn in the portal for some depth. Georgia recruits O-linemen so well that these guys who are going to be starting for the first time are going to be completely fine. They're just way too talented not to be. At quarterback, Georgia will be running with Gunnar Stockton, someone who was a backup for the longest time and who got to play in the bowl game last year. He brings a new element to this Georgia offense, as he's a very good runner. He's going to help make this run game more dynamic. Last year, Georgia really struggled at receiver, as they had the highest drop percentage at 13.17%, and Adrian Smith led all wide receivers with 10 drops, so it's no surprise they went out and got some studs in the portal, as they got Zachariah Branch and Noah Thomas, two players with very high potential and are going to be great weapons for Gunnar Stockton to throw to. Next, let's take a look at this defense, as they were very good last year, having the second highest success rate, but they lost a lot of players, especially in the D-line, as Michael Williams, Nazir Stackhouse, and Chaz Chambles all went to the draft. They lost Damon Wilson and Jamal Jarrett to the transfer portal. I'm kind of worried they lost so much, but they're replacing it with so much talent, as they got Elo Madozi from the transfer portal, and they got several 5-star defensive linemen in their recruiting class, but it should still be a relatively unexperienced group. In the linebacking core, Samel Mondo Jr. and Jalen Walker both went to the draft. They're able to keep CJ Allen and Raylan Wilson. CJ was second in the team in tackles last year, so this linebacking core should be pretty good. In the secondary, they only lost 2 starters, one of those being Malachi Starks, arguably the best safety in college football last year. But they're able to keep KJ Bolden, someone who had a great season last year as a true freshman, and they got some players in the portal for some depth. It shouldn't be that big of a drop off from last year, but overall, Georgia had a pretty good offseason. They had an elite recruiting class, addressed the needs at receiver, and brought in some depth at secondary and running back. The only con I can really think of is they lost some great players on the D-line to the portal, but to grade their offseason, I would probably give them an A-. They're the perfect example of how to build a team through the recruiting class rather than the portal. But that's all I got. Let me know what y'all think. Comment what team I should do next.